Think you know everything about Chucky, horror cinema's most famous killer doll? Think again. Today, we'll reveal Chucky's darkest and most disturbing secrets that the movies never told you. Get ready to discover the doll's darkest side, its hidden origins, the details that go unnoticed, and the secrets that even the most attentive fans only notice on the second or third viewing. The macabre origin of Chucky few know, but Chucky didn't begin as just a cursed toy. The original story hides layers of mystery and dark magic. Charles Lee Ray, the killer who transfers his soul into the doll, didn't choose Chucky at random. The transfer ritual involved occult forces, voodoo spells, and secret sacrifices. What many viewers do not realize is that each film reveals subtle clues about the true extent of Chucky's power. He's not just a doll with a mind of his own. He is an entity with malevolent intentions that go far beyond what is seen in the gory scenes. Details that go unnoticed. Chucky is a master at manipulating his surroundings. In several scenes, he changes location, moves objects, or appears at moments when no one notices. These details create a constant feeling that he is always one step ahead, observing and planning. Another little noticed secret is that Chucky knows how to exploit his victims' fears psychologically, not just physically. He uses words, facial expressions, and even small actions to emotionally destabilize those around him. It is this psychological terror that makes him much more frightening than he appears. The doll's hidden power. Few realize that Chucky possesses abilities that go beyond simple movement. He can use everyday objects as deadly weapons, manipulate doors, create distractions, and even influence his victims' dreams in some more recent versions. Additionally, there are subtle moments in the films where the camera shows shadows or reflections of Chucky. That suggests he is more than just a normal doll. These small details are planted to create tension and a sense that the horror may be present even off-screen. Production secrets and deleted scenes. Another dark layer to Chucky's story lies off-camera. Many fans are unaware that some original scenes were cut because they were deemed too disturbing or violent. In these scenes, Chucky reveals even darker aspects of his personality: rituals, elaborate murders, and extreme psychological manipulation. Some films even suggested that Chucky had a connection to greater demonic forces, but these details were downplayed to maintain the R rating. This means that the full version of Chucky is even scarier than anyone would imagine. The learning doll. One of the most intriguing secrets is that Chucky doesn't just kill, he learns with each attempt, becoming progressively more cunning. Every mistake is a lesson, every victim an opportunity to improve your murderous strategies. This makes Chucky not just a killer doll, but a constantly evolving malevolent mind, capable of anticipating moves and adapting to different situations. That's why he remains a threat even decades after his creation. The psychological horror you've never seen. What truly makes Chucky terrifying isn't just the gore, but the fear he instills in people's minds. He manipulates, deceives, and intimidates, often before even attacking. Every seemingly innocent scene can contain a hidden threat, and that's what keeps the audience on edge. Chucky is more than a killer doll. He's a combination of psychological terror, dark magic, and malevolent intelligence. The films reveal only the surface of his true nature, and his darker secrets remain hidden, waiting to be discovered by attentive fans. If you thought you knew everything about Chucky, now you know there's much more behind his creepy smile and sharp hands. If you enjoyed discovering these dark secrets of Chucky, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video with your horror-loving friends. This helps the Haunted Hour continue to bring you scary, curious, and disturbing stories you've never seen before. Because remember, true horror isn't just in what you see, but in what you never noticed.
Think you know all of Annabelle's creepiest moments? Think again. Today we're revealing the scariest details that most fans simply missed. Every look, every movement, and every shadow can hide something terrifying. Get ready, because you'll see the possessed doll in a way you never imagined, with secrets and scares hidden in the films that make her even more disturbing. The eye that follows you. One of the most subtle yet frightening moments occurs in the very first film. You might have thought Annabelle was just sitting motionless on the bookshelf, but if you look closely, her gaze follows the characters with eerily precise precision, as if she knew their every move. This psychological detail creates a constant feeling of unease, because, even outside the main focus of the scene, Annabelle seems alive. It's easy to miss this the first time you watch it, but it's a trick directors use to make the audience feel that danger is always present, even when nothing seems to be happening. Imperceptible movements in several scenes. Annabelle moves in almost imperceptible ways. One time she changes position on the bookshelf, another she appears in a different place without the characters noticing. These small movements are quick, silent, and subtle, but they have a devastating psychological effect. The audience notices them before the characters do, creating constant tension and fear. These moments may go unnoticed, but when you watch again, you realize that the doll is never truly still. It's as if she's always watching and planning her next attack. Objects that move by themselves, Annabelle doesn't need to move to scare. She manipulates the environment around her. Doors that close by themselves, lights flashing, objects that fall without explanation. All of this happens very subtly and almost always out of camera focus. A detail that few notice is that often the objects move exactly when the audience's attention is focused on something else, creating a subliminal effect that leaves the mind unsettled. These are the little scares that make Annabelle's horror so memorable. Whispers and hidden voices. Another frightening detail that many viewers overlook is the whispers and sounds Annabelle makes. In several scenes, you can hear vague voices or murmurs when no one is near her. These sounds are intentionally low and barely perceptible. But when you turn up the volume or pay attention, you realize she's constantly trying to communicate with or influence the characters. This type of psychological horror is even more effective because it exploits the fear of the unknown, keeping the audience alert and uneasy even during seemingly calm scenes. The unseen presence, perhaps, the scariest aspect of Annabelle is that she doesn't need to appear on screen to scare. At several points you sense her presence simply through the environment, the characters' reactions, and the mood of the scene. Clever direction makes the fear felt even without the doll being visible, creating an almost unbearable tension. The feeling that something is watching you at all times, even when it's not on screen, is what makes Annabelle one of the most terrifying creatures in modern cinema. The final detail you never noticed in the most recent films, there's a disturbing detail that few have noticed. Annabelle seems to smile slightly in moments of great tension, but never in an obvious way. It's a subtle, almost imperceptible smile, but it makes it clear that she feeds on human fear and anguish. This detail goes unnoticed the first time you see it, but once you do, it completely changes the way you view the doll. These are just some of Annabelle's scariest moments that you probably never noticed. Every look, every movement, and every object that moves on its own contributes to the psychological terror that makes this doll so iconic and disturbing. Next time you watch the films, pay attention. It's not just what you see, but what you feel that truly scares you. If you enjoyed discovering these terrifying secrets about Annabelle, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video with your horror-loving friends. This helps the Haunted Hour continue to bring you scary, intriguing, and suspenseful stories you'll never forget. Because remember, sometimes the scariest moments are the ones you didn't even realize.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if the world's scariest doll encountered one of pop culture's most ruthless killers? Today, we'll explore an epic clash between horror and action. Annabelle, the possessed doll, faces off against Chuck Norris, the martial arts master. Prepare for a story full of suspense, adrenaline, and breathless moments. As fear and action collide in a duel no one will ever forget. The encounter that would change everything. It all begins on a rainy night in an abandoned mansion. Annabelle, known for spreading terror wherever she goes, senses a different presence. Someone who feels no fear. Chuck, investigating a mysterious disappearance linked to the doll, enters the house with his legendary confidence. Realizing this is no simple evil spirit, Chuck braces himself. He knows he's dealing with supernatural forces, but he also knows that nothing and no one can bring him down. The tension is palpable. The doll's every footstep echoes through the mansion's dark corridors, and Chuck's every move is calculated, precise, and deadly. The terror of Annabelle. Annabelle isn't just a creepy doll. She's a possessed being capable of controlling objects, manipulating the environment, and invading her victims' dreams. She begins by attacking in subtle ways. Doors that close on their own, whispers, shadows moving. Every detail heightens the atmosphere of terror. But Chuck Norris is no ordinary victim. He recognizes the signs of possession and uses his combat experience and mental focus to neutralize the doll's traps. Annabelle's every attempt to overpower him is met with swift movements, strategic strikes, and sheer willpower. The epic showdown when the direct confrontation finally occurs. The mansion transforms into a battleground of horror and action. Annabelle moves supernaturally, throwing objects, creating illusions, and even summoning shadows to attack. Chuck dodges, blocks, and counterattacks with his legendary strength. The battle is intense and unpredictable. At one point, the doll manages to trap Chuck in an illusory corridor surrounded by seemingly closing walls. But, using his quick thinking and martial arts skills, Chuck breaks the illusion, overcomes obstacles, and comes face to face with Annabelle. The tension reaches a fever pitch. Annabelle attempts a final attack, manipulating every object in the mansion to crush him. Chuck, with quick and precise movements, unleashes a sequence of blows that not only neutralize the attacks but also knock the doll back. Every second is electrifying, blending supernatural terror with high-intensity action. The secret of victory, Chuck realizes that to defeat Annabelle, he must break the spiritual bond that keeps her active. He uses his mind, courage, and knowledge of occult forces to perform an improvised ritual, channeling her energy and determination. The doll, surrounded by Chuck's power, begins to weaken. At the climax, a final blow destroys the evil presence within Annabelle, sending the doll falling silently to the floor. The mansion, previously filled with chaos and possessed objects, returns to calm. The terror finds its resolution, but not without first leaving a chilling sense that other supernatural forces still lurk. This battle demonstrates something fascinating. The clash between the supernatural and the human can be unpredictable. Annabelle's terror finds its limit in the face of Chuck's action, discipline, and courage. But it also reminds us that fear never completely disappears. It only encounters resistance. It's a narrative that blends psychological horror, supernatural suspense, and breathtaking action. Every movement, every glance, and every attack keeps the audience in constant tension. It's the encounter everyone has dreamed of. Horror and action in perfect collision. In the end, Chuck defeats Annabelle, but not without making it clear that the world of the supernatural is vast, terrifying, and full of mysteries. It's a victory that combines intelligence, courage, and brute force, showing that even the most absolute terror can be faced by those who are unafraid to fight. This story makes us reflect. What if the impossible really existed? What if the oldest evil could be faced with action, courage, and strategy? If you enjoyed this epic duel between horror and action, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video with all your friends who love horror and action movies. This way, you'll help Nerd Multiverse continue bringing you incredible, curious, frightening, and utterly unforgettable stories. Because remember, even the scariest horror can find a worthy rival. And that rival could be none other than Chuck Norris